Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Finding Free Houses, and this time we're actually going to be spending time with the other houses, specifically the Golden Deer and One Blue Lion. So first we have Marianne, and this is getting into her B support, and we're just going to get to know a little bit more about her and why she wants to keep her distance from people. Because Marianne's the type that people want to help her and people want to get close, but she's been through so much in life, she doesn't want to probably experience it again. And when you've gone through that much trauma, you don't want to go down that path a second time. Like, you know, naturally, you know, there's good, like, getting close to people can be nice, but if you lose them or something bad happens to them, you've got to deal with that, and that can be difficult. So obviously for her, it's, you know, she doesn't want to experience that. You know, I can understand that. I mean, ultimately, it's better to connect with people than to close off your heart, but at the same time, people do close their hearts for reasons, yeah. And obviously for her, it's the crest that's what she feels is bringing her so much pain, and it's not something she can do about that, so she's obviously very, very unhappy. And even then, like, again, her life seems to be just dictated for her. Like, you know, it's like my thing wants to do this, and, you know, I don't really have a say in these matters, I'm just kind of forced to do all these things, so obviously she's very upset and downtrodden, bless her soul. Yeah. But naturally, you still want to get close, but she wants to keep pushing people away, just because I reckon for her it's the path of least resistance, just to go along with it, yeah.
Are you sure I'm not bothering you, Professor?
And, you know, she is self-deprecating, but she's sweet, again, you know. There is a lot of beauty hidden behind that dourness. Yeah.
I'm so grateful to hear you say that.
Because again, when she smiles and when she's happy, she seems lovely. It's just a case of trying to break through that tough shell. Again, Bernadette is a similar situation, but she's more a case of, you know, Marianne doesn't overreact and, you know, stuff like that. She doesn't run to wild conclusions. She doesn't, like, run away from people. She just tries to push them away, you know, more. Like, she's very much afraid to talk, whereas Bernadette is just sometimes talks too much, but still, it's just nice that we slowly get to know her. So next up is Ignatz, of all people. I don't even remember how I got the support with him, because I pretty much never, you know, asked him for help or barely ever interacted with him, but okay, I have the support with Ignatz. And Ignatz is... Well, here's the thing. He's a perfectly fine character, you know, he's just, you know, he's a nice young lad, he's curious about things, and he's, you know, he's that type of, you know, just very, intuitive type person, you know. I mean, his design, it's kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of generic to me, but Ignatz is perfectly fine. But in a game like Three Houses, where the characters are so strong and they're really, really interesting, granted I haven't seen everything about Ignatz, he's just, you know, he kind of falls into, he's kind of like Cyril, where he's not bad at all, it's just, there's not much there to him, I find. Granted, I like his excitable attitude, you know, he's not like an annoying character or there's literally nothing to him where he's bland. No, you know, he is a nice and, you know, charming lad, but at the same time, it's not like Ash, who, say, while he was cute and all that jazz, he still, you know, could see his faith begin to break down as the story goes along. He had that relationship with Leonardo and so on, you know, there was that depth to him. Ignatz, really, I don't see that. And I've seen some of his supports, and again, I've seen some of them, and again, not much really comes of it. Granted, you know, he's going on about hobbies, and, you know, that's a good thing. You know, that's actually quite cool, because in Three Houses, a lot of them are focused on their training and trying to become the best possible, yet he's still able to go on about just enjoying yourself. And, you know, that is very good, because I do agree. You know, work and relaxation should go hand in hand, perfectly balanced, as all things should be, as Sano says, because, yeah, you want to work some, you want to relax some, you have them work together. Granted, there will be times where you push one to the side, like sometimes if you're about to finish, like I do this sometimes where I'm very close to finishing a video, so I'll just push through it to get it complete and stuff like that. And there'll be times where I'm exhausted or I really don't feel like working, so I'll just spend more time relaxing to get my energy back. You know, it's one of those things. You need to know how to manage the two. But I like that Ignatz is actually, you know, his some of his supports are more focused around having hobbies and stuff like that, because, you know, hobbies are, you know, they can help define people. And I think, yeah, all that's left is Felix. Yeah, because a lot of these support, well, not all of them, because I'm in B level, but the ones that I've already achieved B supports with, we can't see the A support until the time skip, which I think is a very interesting factor, where you can only see the support after time skip, because it's obviously based around that and how time has moved forward, so it's more interconnected with the story, which is very clever.
But you seem like a worthy adversary.
And, well, Felix just being, you know, Felix. He's very much like a Sasuke of this game. And character-wise, he's not, I don't find him bad, because he does have that relationship with his dad, and he does have that resentment and so on. And he has good reason for it. It's kind of like Sylvain in that regard. But Felix's attitude, like Sylvain's attitude, you could see how his event had really screwed with him and so on. Like, he wasn't necessarily mean to people. He was just kind of like, you know, he was like a ladies' man, but a bit of a slimy ladies' man. But you can see he was kind of dead inside while doing it, and he does open up to people about why he feels this way. Whereas Felix is just kind of, I want to train, everything else is pointless to me. Like, yeah, I have this thing with my dad, but I'm just generally like, and I can't act like a dick. I mean, again, to each their own. You know, I can see people's appeal with Felix, and again, he does have that dark ties to like Dimitri and so on. So again, he's not a bad character. It's just, you know, I wouldn't say he's generic. He's just like not too likable. And obviously, not every character has to be super likable. I mean, hell, Edelgard's not the most likable character, and I still find her fantastic. It's just, I don't know. Felix, again, he feels very Sasuke and all that, if you know what I mean. I mean, for those who... Because I haven't even watched Naruto, and even I know the type of character Sasuke is. He's one of those people.
Nothing's as important as the pursuit of
I like his voice actor, though. Again, I'm probably wrong, but it sounds so much like Johnny Young Bosch. If it's not, then, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but it sounds so much like him. So, yeah. Also, this chapter isn't all just supports, because now we're actually going to do... Well, first of all, yeah, Mercedes is going to unlock her budding talent with archery. I can't remember what she gets. Oh yeah, winning shot. I can't remember what that adds. I think it's either magic or res. Either way, it's like curve shot, but a little bit better. But yeah, next up. Oh yeah, I also increased my professor level. I like how somehow when you answer these questions, you get a shit ton of like professor EXP. And yeah, now I'm at B level. Why? So yeah, we got that going for me. And yeah. So now we can just do more stuff and so on, just more items and all that jazz. Okay, so now we actually have a map to do. Well, it's not even like a paralog or a thing mission. It's just a skirmish, but it's a brand new map, so I thought I'd show it off. Very, very boxed in this map. Very maze-like. I mean, so if you've got good defense units here, well, because of the enemies I'm facing, they're mostly just sword units. So in my case, just, you know, either good speed or good, what do you call it? Good defense. I mean, again, this map is also, I know it's quite small. Granted, you know, I remember I faced a danger beast on this map, and he's all the way in the left corner. But, you know, here, it's like, there is no danger beast, so it's just the enemies. And, you know, I also got Ingrid to help out. We will, because, you know, she will be coming to our side for Crimson Flower, so we get 2 of the blue lions. Whereas, like, if we do Silver Snow, we get Golden Deer.
Nerf this!
And there goes Mercedes. Well, I didn't use a waning shot, but what the hell. So yeah, the map is naturally very boxed in, and you know, there's so many choke points, it's actually kind of ridiculous. But, oh god. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, it's smaller and more confined, which is quite nice, because some of the free houses can be a bit big. But, you know, I think for a skirmish map, it's absolutely fine. I don't know if there's actually a, what do we call it, map here, like like an actual story or there she goes again, or a paralog set in here. I mean, there probably is. They wouldn't just make these maps without using them in like actual proper events, like again, like a paralog or something like that. But you know, it's a perfectly fine map. It's small, you know, it gets the job done. It's nothing. To me, it's nothing special, but it gets the job done. Yeah. So there we go. Just going on for it. God, this ain't like the Ingrid having blue lions, but Ingrid is still just great regardless, even though her strength growth is actually surprisingly low. Well, it's for Free Houses standards, it's kind of average, because the Free Houses growth rates are not particularly big, they're quite small. Despite it being a growth-based game, yeah, don't ask. But then again, you know, the whole thing when you promote your bases, if they're not up to a certain point, they will be boosted to that, they'll be boosted to the corresponding class line. So, you know, they got that going for you. And, whereas, like, again, most growths are about 40% margin when I look them up. You know, some characters are lucky. Like, I know, like, Edelgard has, like, a 60%, whatchamacallit, like, a charm growth. And I was, you know, that's really, really fortunate. But most characters, it's roughly 40%, give or take. Obviously, it varies per person. Like, again, I know, like, I think Dimitri's got really good, like, 60% strength growth. And I know, like, again, the Lords I know have better growths in total. Like, Edelgard, it's mostly 40, whereas some characters, like, again, Dorothea's growths aren't that great, and neither are Bernadetta's. Only her speed and skills really a particularly good growth, and there goes Edelgard. Just fucking people up. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, then after this, we've got more, we have more supports to explore. So, again, this is quite the varied part. We just got a lot to cover. Again, she's just one-shotting them. And granted, you know, she's only got 78% hit rate, but hey, odds are in my favor. Fuck, got all that jazz. Oh man, I remember, like I said, early on, I really wanted Shamir to focus on gauntlets. I thought it'd be really great for her, just, you know, stuff like that. But then later on, it's like, I should have invested in riding, I should have invested in riding, I should have invested in riding. That's why I'm doing it in the Blue Lions. I'm really investing in my riding rank, because it's like, Bow Knight, come on man, Bow Knight. Bow Knight, let's go. Oh, there we go. Granted, you know, considering Shamir is got bow utility, I wonder if it's worth investing in like maybe her flying axe or sword rank. She also has lance too if you want to make her flying, but I reckon, or you know, she has lance, so yeah, riding rank she can become paladin either. So yeah, I mean that's just my observation, but you know it varies naturally. I have to really, again, I haven't really looked because I'm working on the golden. Sorry, not the golden deer, the Black Eagles video, and I had to look into these characters to find out like where their strengths really lie, what class lines are good for them, their budding talents, and like what skills they can learn. There goes Hanneman. But I haven't really looked into the other units, so I'll have to see. I mean, I could be pleasantly surprised. Like, look at like Shamir's growth, and it's like, huh? Or look at Catherine's, I'm like, ugh, you know, that type thing. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, there goes Shamir going full JoJo. Yeah, I do like how gauntlets give slower units like an edge up, as well as really help high attack units, just because you know they can double straight out the gate without needing to without fear of retaliation. Again, I find it to be very useful for like knights and warriors because they have a really high attack stat. There goes God. Now she looks like someone from Athens. Like, good lord. Again, Dorothea dance around with a bow. Well, my god, my god. This bit's not too long, and there's only so many enemies to fight, and for the most part, it's just Edelgard being Edelgard. Oh, there's Edelgard once again, just taking the beating and smacking them back in the face. But yeah, so going into the whole growth thing, even though the growths are low, I like how the game, when you promote, it should help to balance out some of your lower stats, and also how there are many ways to work around it, like gambits, a certain ability. Again, a lot of the classes have shit ton of skills, so while a lot of people go Brigand because you can get Death Blow, which is plus 6 attack, or just damage. No, it is plus 6 strength, because yeah, Fiendish Blow is for, what do you call it? It's for mages, and that's plus 6 magic. But yeah, and also like combat arts can be very useful, certain weapons. Again, just in case you get RNG screwed, there are ways around it. And again, that's a testament to the good game design, where it's like, you know, you're not relying on just getting good level ups, you know. And you know, they balance the enemies so that they're not too impossible even, there are ways around them. Because again, the gambits, also, from what I remember, the gambits not only hurt you, they also debuff you in some cases. And so, like, they can either impair your movement, debuff your stats, swap, you know, place them with other units, that type of thing. Which again, I think that's cool. The gambits do more than just deal damage. If anything, they're more to do additional after effects than damage, because, you know, gambits don't double. Whereas, you know, other most units should be able to double just fine. Therefore, you know, why would you use a gambit to kill? Unless, you know, granted, sometimes a gambit can break through enemy, you know, defenses. Like, again, some of them are just stupidly powerful, and they can hit multiple enemies. But, you know, generally, you know, the gambits are more so there to just deal either really, really powerful, like, initial attacks, or a safe way of dealing those attacks, or, you know, just what do you call it? Just to really weaken an enemy, like, again, like a demonic beast. Oh no, we got the extra authority. And we're going to turn to Battalion Desperation. See, the Battalion, like, Battalion Wrath and Battalion Desperation, I really don't use that much, because most of the time my battalions are, like, don't reach that, like, point of integrity. I usually have them stocked up, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's just me. I mean, again, you can obviously use them to your advantage, and I've seen Battalion Desperation, I've used it myself in some of the early chapters when I did have a low battalion, being very, very useful. But, you know, that's, you know, they're situational, but still. And there goes Mercedes. So yeah, any excuse to level people up. Yeah. Oh, this one isn't too bad, actually. Yeah, most of the left-hand column. Most of it. Again, Mercedes just getting more strength, just fucking biceps and everything. Oh, wow, even the way, like, she lunges, it's kind of like what Edelgard did. And again, the little dance animation, it's just so cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, just a little bit of rally, and... oh, yeah. Well, at least you can tank the magic, definitely. Again, like that thrust. Just so, again, even the way they attack is graceful. Yeah, after Edelgard with that magic, but Edelgard just stat-wise here is just really damn good. Again, I can fucking take on all of you like nobody's business. And cut him in half. Yeah. And level up. Oh man. I'm just considering now with Dimitri, like, do I want to do his personal class line? I really like him as a paladin, I'm not gonna lie. I really like him as a paladin. I mean, out of all of them, Claude probably has the best personal class line, because he becomes a fucking Wyvern Lord with he's part Wyvern Lord. And it's just really, really great. You don't argue with that. I mean, Edelgard's armor base, which, you know, is at least unique, whereas Dimitri's one is just kind of, you know, standard Fire Emblem infantry unit. You know, Claude is a goddamn wyvern. Goddamn wyvern, good lord. Right, so what happens next? Oh yeah, Flame gets her budding talent. I can't remember what she gets though. Oh, because I remember I've done this in Blue Lions. But I can't. Oh yeah, Seal Magic. Good if you're res tanking. Yeah, now it's time for supports. So this is Edelgard and Dorothea again. Yeah, just humming that little tune she made. And again, it's here where Edelgard's just able to be more casual around Dorothea, and I swear to God, Dorothea has such a thing for Edelgard. Like, she's not even trying to hide it by the A support, yeah.
Quite charming recently. I'm hoping.
Hey, Dorothea, hey, I'm actually doing well in relationships, thank God. Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
And obviously this one goes into, like, how do you feel about romance, Edelgard? It's like, it's not that she's against it, it's like, oh, I don't have time for it. It's like, she clearly has thought about it, it's just, at the moment, you know, it's not exactly on the list of priorities.
I'm not completely.
Yeah, so it's not like I'm disinterested in romance or anything. Baka. Yeah. Yeah. Again, because again, you can marry Edelgard, and she can marry other people. Yeah, Edelgard does have a lot of very human elements. Just at present, she has to focus so much on her duties as Emperor that makes it difficult for her to, you know, seek these things out. Yeah.
That's not surprising. You're not just any old.
Yeah, again, if Edelgard didn't have to live up to responsibilities, she probably would maybe. Again, I don't think she would have been as, like, say, romantically inclined as Dorothea, because that's just not the type of person she is. But she probably would have been more open to it and stuff like that. She'd probably be, you know, more easy to blush, more easy to, you know, get flustered and all that jazz. Yeah, no, you know, marrying for political purposes. So that's what she may end up doing. But ultimately, I think she just goes with the person she loves the most, which ultimately you should do. But granted, marrying for political purposes, you know, it was a very big thing back then, and it's still a thing now. And even like some, you know, sometimes people marry for, you know, family purposes, like, you know, some arranged marriages and all that jazz. You know, sometimes marriages are used as a way of securing relations between not just the bride and groom, but the extended family, or in this case, you know, maybe people like national representatives and so on. So obviously, people use marriage as more of a way of they exploit the system somewhat. And again, it happened a lot back then. People would be married just to like, oh, our lands will unite through this marriage and so on. It's like, you know, there will be peace, so to speak. Even though the bride and groom have literally nothing in common and stuff like that. But hey, you know, we're the ones who decide it because we're the ones in power. Oh, yeah, now we get Hubert. And yeah, now Casper gets two of them. First is the next one's Ferdinand, first one's Hubert. So the Hubert one's actually, again, it kind of just brings back into the whole Casper thing, because Casper did take Hubert's words to heart. He stopped the war cries. He didn't shout out and so on. And it's because it's not just because Hubert said so. It's because last time he does say in this, like, I did shout out and we survived, but we could have lost. So, you know, I took that to heart. But at the same time, Hubert recognizes without your war cries, it doesn't feel the same, and people don't get as rallied. So obviously, Casper did learn from this, and he doesn't shout as often, but he still needs to because that's part of his invigorating personality. And I like that about Casper, that he actually did take it to heart, not just because someone told him, because he actually was shown what happens if you don't listen to, you know, the advice people give you. And stuff like that. Again, Casper clearly cares. Casper is not an idiot, and I like that about him. He could have easily made him just a shonen thing where it's like, oh, I tried this because you said so. I didn't really notice any impact though. It's like, no, he really, really did, and so on. Again, I like that about Casper. And again, I like that about Three Houses cast as a whole. They feel very human, because most people in these situations, if they did go through this, they would feel that it's like, okay, I did screw up. I admit I screwed up. I'm gonna try and better myself and so on. And some people are like, look, I appreciate that you're trying to better yourself, but at the same time, the part of you that, you know, while can be a bit ostentatious, is still very charming, and a lot of people like it. Yeah. Like he says, we're just used to it. And again, sometimes what makes people, you know, it can be irritating to some, but it's ultimately what defines them. As long as it isn't, you know, a quirk that actively, you know, where part of your quirk is literally being really, 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 really cynical to a point where it's downright, you know, malicious. Like, yeah, being cynical is alright if it's using more of an ironic sense, or, you know, just as a light thing. You know, some people are just naturally cynical, but obviously you don't want to be so cynical where you literally are really, really starting to hurt people. Again, it's the same with Caspar. You know, him shouting is cool, just don't do it to a point where literally all you do is shout at people, and you do it in the most unnecessary of circumstances. So even Hubert has to admit that. And again, I like that Hubert can openly admit that. He's not like, oh, it's like oh, the others preferred it, but I don't, so fuck what they say. Yeah.
That might have been the wrong approach.
I just like how he was like, oh god, he's not Benedetta. I really don't understand half of
I
this.
suppose I'll just have to rein him in myself.
Yeah. It's like Hubert's trying to micromanage people, but sometimes he's trying to control what you can't control. Oh yeah, so this one's quite interesting between Ferdinand and Caspar, where they both, they both take opposite approaches to doing things that are reminiscent of the adjacent party's actions. In the sense, Ferdinand steps into a fight and quickly breaks it up, without, stuff like that, because it's just getting out of hand, which is something Caspar would do. And the other time, Caspar uses diplomacy to solve a situation, which is what Ferdinand would do. And obviously, each one has their perks. Sometimes, when the situation is quite desperate, you've just got to run in there and go straight to action. You don't really have time to be diplomatic. But, obviously, you don't want to do that all the time. And as Ferdinand does, it is good to be diplomatic and try to talk things out with people, because that usually is the best way in life. Most things can be solved just by talking. Granted, there are some times where talking gets nowhere. Brexit. Sorry, we're getting political up in this shit. But and sometimes you do have to take action. All the talking in the world is meaningless if it amounts to nothing. Again, you want to talk for the sake of reaching a certain point, or implementing something, which is what Caspar did. And obviously, talking is pointless if it's not going to affect the outcome and stuff like that, which is Ferdinand's I need to jump in.
Nevertheless, I think...
Hold on.
So, it's just the two have their positives, and by learning from each other, they can become better people. And I really like that. Again, they are willing to learn. They're not so set in their ways. Because, again, Ferdinand could have easily been, oh, I'm a noble. This is how it's supposed to be done. I am supposed to be the peak of everything. No, he does learn. He does make a lot of mistakes, and he is very much trying to better himself for it. Granted, he still thinks highly of himself because, well, he is a very nice dude, he is very charming, he does strive to be the best, and he is a noble after all. He is Ferdinand von Eyre, but he's not so up his own arse as to think, I'm literally glorious. Yep.
His wares were quite inferior after all. But without a moment's hesitation,
Yeah.
I leapt to his aid and soundly defeated the
Yeah. He sounds like a freaking soap opera.
It was nothing, really. Anyway,
So, again, I really love supports like this, and I love that Three Houses goes in this direction with its characters. I hope more Fire Emblem games do that. Hell, I hope the remakes of, because I heard about the cancelled Fire Emblem 3DS remake, which personally I'm okay with, because Echoes already came out at the late point of the 3DS life cycle anymore, and it would just be no, there's no point, the 3DS is dead, just focus on doing it for the Switch now, which they probably will do. I wouldn't be surprised if the next one is a remake, considering Three Houses was so ambitious. Trying to build from that with a new game would take a lot of time. So, remake is, next best option. So,
gentle approach to handling that robbery.
yeah, again, I hope maybe if they remake Binding Blade, they give that approach to their characters, give them more support, give them more depth, have them be like this. Granted, different situation, different circumstances, different personalities, different, backstories, but you know what I mean. Again, Three Houses has set such great groundwork for Fire Emblem. I hope that all of the games follow in its footsteps. Obviously, I'm not expecting every game to be as good as or even better than Three Houses, but as long as they just follow its footsteps and remain with similar level of quality, we should be good. And that, as they say, is that for this part. So next part, we're actually going to hunt down the lot who killed my dad. We're going to reveal what Kronya really looks like, and, get sudden fate flashbacks. And, by the end of it, we're going to be in some real deep shit. Until then, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, and have a wonderful day.